If it's 3 o'clock in New York, it's time for The Cycle. This hour, complete coverage of the George Zimmerman murder trial. Both the prosecution and the defense are still trying to use that controversial 911 call to prove their case. Developing now, the accused Boston Marathon bomber faces a judge this hour, and he's also facing survivors of the deadly terror attack. And 4 days after that terrifying plane crash in San Francisco, the FAA changes the rules. All the news as it happens right now. It's The Cycle. We start in Sanford, Florida. It's the George Zimmerman trial. Right now we're hearing from a new witness, a neighbor of Zimmerman's, whose home was broken into while she was inside with her young child. That incident is why George Zimmerman told police he decided to start the neighborhood watch. Let's listen.
That the person or persons involved had not been caught, right?
Right.
And you discussed that it was your belief, and I say your collectively, you and him, that that person responsible or one of the people actually lived in the retreat at Twin Lakes, right?
It was confirmed by the police.
That they lived inside?
Yes.
And you discussed that?
And other neighbors.
And you discussed that that person lived in retreat at Twin Lakes near the back gate, right?
Yes.
And then it's your understanding that at some point that person was arrested?
Yes.
And released prior to February of 2012?
Correct.
You, have you watched the proceedings in this trial?
Briefly.
What parts did you watch?
I believe I saw his uncle testify.
Who else?
I don't know any by names. I haven't watched very much.
Have you tweeted about this case?
Not since, no, I have not.
Not since what?
Maybe last year when it first happened.
You haven't tweeted about this trial?
I don't believe so.
This week?
I don't believe so.
You do have a Twitter account, correct?
Yes.
And you follow, you actually follow Mr. O'Mara, do you not?
Yes.
And you follow an account or a site called Zimmerman Legal Case, right?
I do.
And you have been on Nancy Grace?
Yes.
In regards to this case?
Over a year ago, yes.
I have just a moment, Your Honor. Ms. Berlin, thank you for your time.
Redirect.
Thank you. Just a few follow-up questions, ma'am. And Mr. Zimmerman came to you to talk to you about having been victimized by a home invasion. Did you consider that strange?
No.
Were you appreciative of his efforts to help you out?
Very.
Tell me about that.
We were terrified when this happened, and when we came home after we were having car troubles, and we came home, and he was just saying that he wanted to make sure we were okay. We weren't home, my sister was, and she didn't answer the door because she was scared because of what had gone on. So I was just appreciative that he was offering his hand and had told me I could spend time with his wife if I needed to go somewhere during the day because I was so afraid.
He told you that his wife, Shelley, was a nursing student, correct?
Correct.
The objection has to hearsay.
Did he tell you, what did he tell you about his availability, if any, of his wife to be there for you if need be?
The objection to that is to hearsay and relevance.
It's...
Well, I'm really having a problem with the relevance.
I was just following up, but okay, Your Honor, I'll just focus it again. Were you aware that Ms. Zimmerman was there for you as well, if need be?
Yes, sir.
Did you then at some point, shortly thereafter, go to the Homeowners Association and discuss the issue of the home invasion?
I don't believe I went. My husband did.
And then, in addition to your conversation with George Zimmerman, did you talk to other people about what happened to you?
Yes.
Who is that?
A couple of my neighbors, neighbor named Pete, another neighbor, Chris.
Was this home invasion then something of a point of conversation because of the trauma that you had with it?
Yes.
Matter of fact, did Mr. Zimmerman, after the homeowners association that started Neighborhood Watch, did he bring to you a lock to help you with the sliding glass door?
Yes, he did.
Did you consider that weird or unusual or strange?
No, I was very appreciative.
Were you made aware that there was a issue with problems with the sliding glass doors in your neighborhood?
I don't believe so.
Was it actually how they got in the house, the sliding glass door? Or no?
Yes.
So they actually came in through the back sliding glass door? Mm-hmm. Did this lock then help secure that problem?
Yes, it sits behind it, and it locks it tight so they can't pull it open.
And before you moved out, you even had, didn't you get a dog to help?
Yes, we did.
Was that part of trying to just stay more secure in a neighborhood where you've been burglarized or invaded?
Yes, the cops told us to get a dog.
You know the person who was arrested was Emmanuel Burgess, you said?
Yes.
And that he was released?
Yes.
Did you know that he was rearrested on February 6th of 2012?
I didn't know when. I got a letter after we moved out, so I didn't know exactly when he was arrested.
Did any of your interactions with Mr. Zimmerman in this regard leave you with some impression that he was just too involved in trying to help you out?
No.
Did you think that his behavior was helpful to you?
Very.
Still have the dog?
Yes.
Thanks very much. Nothing further.
Thank you. May Ms. Bertolone be excused?
She may.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. You're excused. Please call your next witness.
Defense would call Robert Zimmerman Sr., Your Honor.
Lisa Bloom, George Zimmerman's father, is coming to the stand.
Yes, a former magistrate, as I recall. I would suspect this is going to be the last witness. Testified was excellent for the defense. She comes across as a nice young woman, obviously very appreciative to George Zimmerman, and set the whole tone for why the neighborhood watch was needed, which explains at least some of the defendant's behavior.
All right, he's being sworn in right now. This is George Zimmerman's father.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Name, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir. State your name, please.
Robert Zimmerman.
And live here in Central Florida, correct?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived in Central Florida?
Almost 7 years.
Okay. You know George Zimmerman as your son, I imagine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Understand, of course, he's here on a second-degree murder charge, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to limit my questions to you to an event where you had an opportunity to hear what we have been calling a 911 tape, or Miss Lauer's 911 call. Do you know what I mean when I ask you about that?
Yes, I do.
It is a tape that includes in it some screams and a gunshot. Have you heard that tape?
Yes, I have.
We have it available. The jury has heard it dozens of times now. I'll only play for you if you need it to hear it again, but do you have a memory of it such that you remember listening to it and forming an opinion as to who you heard?
Yes, sir, I do.
If you would just tell me the setting or the circumstances around the first time that you heard it.
I believe the first time I heard it, it was on the 3rd floor of this building. It was in the state attorney's office. I was there. I was put under oath. They asked me some questions. As I was getting ready to leave, they asked me if I would mind listening to this tape. I said, certainly. So they took me in a fairly small room where there was a computer. They provided me headphones, and they reminded me I was still under oath and would I listen to it. I said yes, so I listened to it. And then they asked me, did I recognize the voice?
And what did you tell them?
I told them, absolutely, it's my son George.
Is that an opinion that you still have through today?
Certainly.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Cross.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, sir.
I think you've listened to it 6 times, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
I think you've listened to that recording 6 times, correct?
No.
You have not?
No.
Okay. I may have a moment, Judge.
Yes, you may.
I've listened to it a number of times. I have no idea if it's 6 or...
Oh, okay.
I would probably say at least 6, but
More than 6 times?
I would
least-
guess at least 6, but
Okay.
I really
Thank you very much.
can't be accurate.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any redirect?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
May Mr. Zimmerman be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Subject to rebuttal.